Hey guys.
Hello.
So welcome to another stream. Eddie is sitting down in his chair, so that's why we're a hair late here. And we had a little confusion on setting up time. So how are you, Daniel?
I'm good. We we had some thunderstorms and lightning today in Moscow.
Woo.
How's the weather in Crimea?
You know, it was hot today. We had our thunderstorms yesterday. So dog was scared to death.
Yeah, my dog too. Yeah, he climbs into the cabinet wherever he can go,
Yeah.
And if I'm out walking with him and there's like fireworks or something at night, or if he hears thunder, he runs all the way back. He runs back to the apartment building and he waits for me. He's like so scared.
You've got a fairly good sized dog too, right?
Yeah. He's 24 kilos, I think.
Yeah.
25 kilos. Yeah, he's a Croatian sheepdog.
Yeah. Huh, about the same size as our dog then.
Yep.
Ours is a Dalmatian.
Oh, Dalmatian. Yeah, beautiful. Is he boy or girl?
Boy.
Is he hyper? Is it the type of...
You can't shut him up. When we got him as a puppy, my wife, my previous dog was a Great Dane. And Irina said, well, I don't want such a big dog again. Somebody told me that the personality of a Dalmatian exactly the same as a Great Dane. I says, they are not. But she insisted. She had one pick her out. And we got a trainer for our daughter and him. And my wife asked the trainer, is like, well, will he protect her? And he says, well, he'll stand about a meter behind her and bark and bark and bark, but he won't attack anyone. And that's what we have to this day. He barks and barks and barks at everything.
Yeah, I don't know what my dog would do, actually. We rescued him. We got him when he was 2. He lived on the streets for like 2 months. And actually, the doctor pulled some darts out of him. I guess some kids in the neighborhood were like throwing darts at him.
Ooh.
So it took about a good 2 or 3 months for him to be with us. Like before he'd really he would just stay in the corner the whole time, Took him a while to get used to being in a house and being around people and stuff. But now he's my best friend.
Yeah. So
Eddie,
we had a comment that YouTube was buffering today, and they asked about my internet. My internet actually sucks today.
Mine's fine.
My upload speed is about 130 megabits a second. My download speed is about 20. So this is the pains of having to use a VPN to get to the rest of the world.
Yeah, but you're in the country, Kevin. You're in the woods, man. Internet's not.
If you consider Crimea the woods, yeah, I've got a symmetrical fiber optic link, so 1 gigabit link, and that's what I get with my VPN. So, Eddie, welcome. Sorry for the confusion on time. When I originally created the stream, my computer had rebooted and it decided I was in Warsaw for some reason. And so I reset it, went in, changed the times, but today I would not last starting at 9 o'clock. So
no worries.
Eddie was in. Eddie.
Yeah.
I can't hear you well.
Oh. Can you hear me now?
Better.
Much better. There we go.
We have us a cell phone advertisement. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you can hear me now. Actually, I wasn't even ready for this. I mean, when I got the message, it was like, oh, we're going on at 8. It was like 8:02. I was like, oh, crap.
It's okay.
Here.
It's okay.
Yeah.
TW, hey.
Hello, TW.
So I actually queued something up, but I lost it because I switched my VPN. So let me queue this up. This was the original start of our show today. But I have to upload it again.
Eddie was in my wife's neck of the woods, Chelyabinsk.
Yeah, and how was your trip to Chelyabinsk?
It was wonderful. The weather was great, except for Sunday. Sunday morning was beautiful, and we left about 1 p.m. just as a huge thunderstorm blew into that part of Chelyabinsk where we were, which was west. And the storms followed us into town as we were driving back in, and then we took a flight at 7 p.m. By that time, storms had cleared out, and it was a nice, smooth flight back to Moscow. So
cool.
very, very nice.
Yeah, we had storms yesterday too.
A lot of storms throughout Russia in June, July. I was talking to Justin for like 2 hours last night. You guys know about the family that moved from Australia? They're in Altai, the Siberian Freedom, and the daughter has a channel, Russian one. She speaks Russian. Well, this is the son-in-law who married the other daughter, and we were talking like last night. And he's building a small house on property they bought, and he wanted to do the roof yesterday or the day before, but they had a bad thunderstorm. Yeah. So, guys, I have a question.
Before we do that, let's do our official opener. If it's a question about what we're going to talk about.
It is.
Go for it.
Okay. So here we go. So that was our official opener. I took that off of the random TV channel I was on earlier today. So notice it's blurred in the corner. It's the only way I can get them past the algorithm.
Funny and sad at the same time.
Funny and sad at the same time. So Daniel, we've made no commentary at all. So go with your questions, dude.
On one of our lives, I said, I think we were discussing the debate. And I said to you guys that, we did a live after the debate. And I said, I believe that they had him do the debate purposely to embarrass him and to show the world, he's not competent. Because all along, I believe the Democratic Party was going to change him. But my question is, $240 million of campaign money, right, that they have. We're already in July, right? Almost the end of July. Now, what happens with that money now? That was campaign money for Biden. Now, I know it's the Democratic Party, but it's Biden, the candidate of the Democratic Party. So what happens to that money?
So I had to look into this one because I saw somebody making comment earlier today that those funds can't be used by anybody else. It's not true. Because they're the funds of the Democratic Party, they can be used by Kamala Harris. So it puts her at an advantage if she is not nominated as the Democratic presidential candidate, because she's the only one, since she's already on the ticket, that can access those funds. If she is not nominated, then that money goes to the Democratic committee, and they can use it for doing things like get out the vote things, or they can loan it to another candidate. So let's assume, and this is one of the rumors that are out there, I don't know if you noticed, but the only presidents or ex-presidents that actually are supporting Harris are Biden and the Clintons. Now, I've heard comment even on random TV today that, maybe Hillary Clinton will be running. Well, they've already backed Harris, so it won't be Hillary Clinton. But the Obamas have not chosen to endorse Kamala Harris. And what I'm hearing is that Barack Obama may nominate his wife at the convention. Right now, we keep hearing that all these delegates that were promised to Biden are being promised by their states to Harris. But the states can't promise those delegates. The delegates have to decide who they're going to back. So many of them are commenting now. I looked at the numbers. It's a small percentage. Western media would make you think it was all of the delegates. It's a handful of states, 4 or 5 states, North Carolina. I don't remember all of them, but it's a small percentage. A lot of them are talking about backing her, but what happens if they show up and there's a more qualified candidate in their eyes? So they can vote for anybody they want. But if they picked, let's just assume they pick Michelle Obama to run as the president, she will not have access to those funds. She will have to start out fundraising at $0.
So at the DNC, which is when is the DNC coming up?
August. I don't know the exact
August.
date, but it's in August.
And is that when they're going to vote during the DNC? Is that when they pick the nominee?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me in a sense of a legal, right? Because you have RFK that was was running under the Dem. It's so late now, mid-July, that Biden isn't this illegal? How can he back out now at such a late stage when you had candidates that wanted to run under the Democratic Party like RFK and now
Well, it's not illegal. You can't force the guy to run. He hasn't actually been nominated. So he's the presumptive presidential candidate. But until that convention and they nominate him, he's actually not the candidate either. So even if he was still on the ticket, they could get there and Barack Obama could stand up and say, I don't support Joe Biden. I want my wife to be nominated. He can nominate her, and then they would vote and they would pick whoever they wanted. And it doesn't seem very democratic to me. No. What are your thoughts, Eddie?
Wow. It's not very democratic, that's for sure. And second of all, I think it speaks to the level of incompetence, the level of, I don't even know how else to describe it. Just unprepared, incompetent Democratic National Committee and basically the entire Democratic Party. From day one, with 81 million votes, they sold America. They sold Joe Biden as the savior of America, right? During COVID, during all of this, Build Back Better. And it has been nothing but one huge failure, catastrophic failure after failure. And I think this speaks to the level of intelligence, the level of the IQ level of these people. It's like I don't even have the vocabulary for it. It's incredible. And so most of my time that I spend on X, I'm just scrolling and I'm just completely speechless up here. And I mean, I can't believe it. You can't be that stupid. Oh, you can be that stupid. It's incredible. But I believe the DNC was caught off guard with their pants down. But the fact is, how could they not see this coming, because right now they are in total chaos. It's not helping independent voters at all. Those who haven't made their decision yet, I think they're just like, "Are you kidding? You guys are in total disarray, and you want me to vote for your candidate, Kamala Harris? Give me a break."
But hold on a minute. Aren't people voting? Like, what's the voting process? You have candidates who want to run under Republican, Democratic, or Independent, right? And there's a process, right? And then people vote, and that's the polls, and whoever has the highest votes, then they continue under their party, right? But now what happened with Biden coming out of it, it's been their plan all along. Biden stepping down this late in the game, now they decide, right? Now the Democratic Party now will decide who the candidate will be, not the voters.
But if that's true, if that's true, and it's proven that was their plan all along, how do you think these true believing Democrat voters feel now? Because now they just realized, oh, my vote didn't count.
But
welcome,
right?
Welcome to our world, in 2020, when we felt like our vote didn't count either. So,
but isn't that what's happening now? This late in the game,
wake up a lot of people. I mean, if you think about it.
Yeah, but guys, isn't that what's happening now? This late in the game, he drops out. Now it's not the voters picking their candidate; it's pretty much the Democratic Party.
It's the DNC that's going to pick the candidate. Exactly.
That's why I say it isn't very democratic.
Not at all. Not at all. I bet you're going to see a lot of Democrats like, wait a minute, this isn't my party. I mean, what's going on?
Interestingly enough, if you look at the poll numbers, I initially this morning was seeing, Trump's poll numbers have shot way up and Harris is real low. I've been watching the poll numbers all day. Up until today, and we talked about this in another stream, the poll numbers have pretty much been 47% for Biden and about 51% for Trump. The polls all day today have shown Trump versus Harris 47.8 47.8, almost 48% versus 51. The numbers haven't moved at all. So she picked up 0.1% when Biden announced. She went up 0.1%, but that's poll error. So I think we have the same thing. The Democrats are going to vote Democratic anyway. The Republicans are going to vote Republican anyway. I think it'll come down to what the undecided voters think over the next several days. And how can they not think? The guy's been incompetent for a while. He, his campaign manager made a statement 3 hours before he released that statement saying he is not dropping out of the race. He is running for president. And then 3 hours later, he's dropped out. Now, I'm going to point something out that most people don't pay a lot of attention to. Last Friday, Biden made a statement in an interview that if his health declined and he had to step down from the race, that Kamala Harris could run the country. Or if he had to step down from the presidency, Kamala Harris could run the country. So we aren't through with this yet today. Are we going to see Kamala Harris sometime in the next couple of days try to remove Biden from office? Because they're still getting a lot of pressure for that.
So a couple of points to make about that. First of all, the argument is if he's not fit to run a campaign for presidency, is he fit for the office of the president today? It's a very, very good question. The second thing that brings that up or about that is there are 2 states where there's a problem because I believe it's don't quote me on this. There's 2 states, Nevada, maybe Wisconsin or North Carolina. I can't remember. If somebody in the comments knows what I'm talking about, there's 2 states that once the primary for the presidential election, the primary's over and the votes are tallied, the delegates from that state can only vote for that candidate. There cannot be a substitution.
Yes, I saw that. There are 2 states.
At the DNC. So if going forward, if that's true and that holds up and say it's challenged in court or not challenged in court and stands, then Biden or whoever the Democratic candidate is guaranteed to lose 2 states, Nevada and whichever this other state is, and I can't remember which it is. So that's a problem. So what do you guys think on the first question? If he's not fit to run, is he fit to run the country?
Well, I made this comment earlier when I was live with the random TV channel. If he's not fit to run for election or to run a second term as president, no, I do not think he's fit to run the office. You don't want to give him the nuclear button. However, you notice that we don't know the real reason why he has decided not to run. His statement said that he wants to focus on running the office for the next 6 months. His brother came out and said he was stepping back because of his health, and they badmouthed him. The Democrats badmouthed him, saying he's a drunk and he hasn't talked to his brother in a couple of weeks. He doesn't know what's going on. So they're going to try to cover up why he's not running, probably for exactly that reason, because he's probably not been running the country anyway.
Right. Let me take it one step further, and then I'm going to leave it. So these 2 states that are in question, the only way that there can be a substitution of a candidate who has won a primary is by death of the candidate, or if it's a sitting president, removal by the 25th Amendment. So
right.
That throws a wrench in it right there.
Right.
Could that be coming up? And who gets to initiate that? Kamala
Harris. And that's why I say this week isn't finished yet.
Wow.
Not by a long shot.
So, wow. This question comes up all the time. I was asked this earlier. Somebody else earlier in the chat mentioned this too, about the note that was written. And this is why I made the statement that he likely hasn't been running the country anyway. So here,
we definitely know who's
note.
We definitely know who's been running the country behind the scenes.
Yeah. Take a look at that Joe Biden here. Now let's look at his signature over the last couple of months. It is not the same signature.
No, that's not the same signature.
So
that might be Jill.
That's his wife.
Yeah. And when he signs it as Joe, Joe, it doesn't match this either. So it's either Jill or it's Hunter.
Could be. Hey guys, I'm going to bow out for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'll be right back if you're still on here. Okay. I apologize for that.
And that's why his battery be dead.
But look, actually, Sid Nelson, he wrote in the comments, they actually found a new way to cheat the popular vote.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, mid-July.
Yeah, because nobody Biden picked his VP running mate. Nobody picked her or whoever else they choose
Right.
to, to be on that ballot. So yeah, the voters didn't get to vote.
Wow. This is really not this decision. What they're doing. It's really horrible. I mean, it's horrible to the people, to the American people who are Democrats, and it's their party. This is really, it's disgusting. Really is, and it's illegal. I think it's illegal. Do you think it's illegal, Kevin?
I don't know, because I haven't looked into what Eddie was talking about. But as far as I know, Biden actually isn't the official running mate at this point. So I don't know. So Matilda's asking what Jill Biden's handwriting looks like. It really doesn't matter, because my handwriting is not nearly as good as my wife's. And let's say that I might have occasionally applied her signature to documents, or she might have applied mine to documents as well. The thing I can tell you is that when she signs my name or I sign her name, they do not look like either of us signed them.
Right. So this is what I think is going to happen. I think Kamala Harris is going to be the candidate, and I think Obama is going to be picked for the vice president.
With all the meetings he had with Obama, it would not surprise me in the least little bit. The donors, they're talking about all the donors are coming back now that Harris is the supposed candidate, and they're backing her. A handful of the donors are. And, there's just too many of them. Now, I don't know if you saw this news release, but this was just a few hours ago. Tulsi Gabbard today in the United States is bringing up in Congress the 22nd Amendment to remove him from office. Now, she does not have the right to do that. Kamala Harris has to do that. But she is going to push that they actually take this up in Congress. So a fellow Democrat wants to have him removed from office.
But I think they're going to have to do that, because like what Eddie was talking about with these two states and their electoral votes, they can only use them now for another candidate if they do the 25th Amendment, right?
Yeah.
So
actually, you're confusing donations to the campaign with super PACs. Super PACs can use those funds regardless. And I don't remember the name of one of his large donors. He gave $1 million, and he said, well, you can release the funds to Harris if you want. You can even release my $1 million to her, but I am not doing fundraising for her anymore.
So I have a little list here of Kamala Harris's facts. Like, this is factual. Okay.
Yeah.
Raised in Canada, not in California. Not African American. She's Indian and Jamaican. Right. The parents, one parent is Indian. The other parent is Jamaican. Political career started out of affair with married man. Right. This was in California, I believe. Right.
Yes.
Imprisoned over 2,000 black for minor drug charges, and held them past their release date for free county labor resource, in some respect slave labor. And a descendant of Hamilton Brown, one of the largest slave owner traders in Jamaican history. These are facts.
having lived in the state of California when she was the prosecutor, I can tell you she was also investigated for covering up police misconduct on investigations. So she is another Hillary Clinton. She's a criminal. And she can't put together a sentence any better than Biden can.
No, I know. I don't know which one is more confusing. But, and she also dated Montel Williams.
Hey.
I guess these are the credentials that you need to run as a Democratic candidate.
Yeah, well, and then we have to remember we had Ross Perot and Donald Trump. So
Bernie Sanders had the most votes during the 2020 Dem primary. Biden was selected by the superdelegates. Superdelegates? What is?
Yeah, I don't know.
What is that? Superdelegate?
I don't know. I'm so far off on the history of elections since I've lived here. Unpledged delegates. It's a delegate to the nomination convention who is seated automatically. They actually aren't appointed by the state party.
So Biden's president, and it's only normal that they go for another term, another 4 years, right?
Yeah.
So what happened with RFK? What did the Democratic Party do? They didn't allow him to run, or what happened with him?
Well, he talked about this earlier today, and he has the same problem as all U.S. politicians do, blowing smoke out his butt. He talked about them changing 60 different laws to keep him from running. But I know a couple of the things they did. The state of Florida, and I don't remember what other state, they didn't allow him to run in the primaries. So he could not get any delegates. One of the states who didn't allow him to be a candidate in the primaries said that he could not campaign in or be on the ballot because he was not in the primaries. He's gotten some of those overturned, but they have been throwing roadblocks in front of him. So that's why he left the Democratic Party.
So who was in the primary in the beginning on the Democratic ticket?
I don't know. There were several.
There were several. Okay,
Yeah.
So now we're in mid-July. The DNC is next month. Who has a chance? Who has a chance who can? Not even who has a chance. Who is allowed to, how does it work? Do they have to accept candidates who are interested now in running? Is that how it works with the Democratic Party and the Republican Party?
It's like Harris. She went out immediately after this was announced, and she had to go and who is it that controls elections in the United States? She had to change her filing papers because they said she was running as the vice president. So they have to file the papers saying that they're running as president.
So Christoph Anon, he says a political party can choose a nominee any way they want. They can set up convention rules as they please. Okay.
Yeah, and in fact, they're meeting on Wednesday to discuss the rules about how they pick it. So they're going to change their rules to allow them to pick who they want.
So the party can do that. They can change. There isn't
yes, because they determine how their delegates can pick. They have rules that say our delegates can do this, they can do that. So they have to make sure that their rules allow them to drop somebody else in.
Well, this is my opinion, and this is what I believe. I believe Joe Biden has been controlled by Obama. He even said it in an interview. He'd like to have a third term, but just be behind the scenes. And now I think Kamala is going to be the nominee, and she's going to have Obama as the vice president. This is what I think. I mean, what else? Who else?
Maybe. I don't know.
So now he's having.
You asked who was on the original primary ballots. It was, this isn't all of them. This is the 5 most noteworthy: Kamala Harris, Marianne Williamson, Oliver Chase, and Robert F. Kennedy. Well, Chase was a libertarian.
And I didn't. That the second girl you mentioned, I don't know where she's from. I don't know.
I don't know either. That was just a quick search. My chat GPT doesn't work well when I'm on anything other than USB VPN.
I mean, the world knows, and many Americans know, that Joe Biden was not competent for a long time now. But I think this was their plan all along, to hold him as long as they can, closest to the election, and then have him drop out.
Yeah. Well, this is why they're asking if this was a coup by the U.S. administration. And I made this statement earlier today on air. I'll make it here. Yes, I think it was a coup. I think they allowed him to make a fool out of himself. This has been going on. You'd have to be an idiot to not see that he had issues mentally.
Yeah.
Definite dementia. My wife's been saying that as a former medical professional, that he exhibited all the signs of dementia going back a year ago. I think they've made a fool out of himself. They were debating, can they remove him without causing problems, or do they, try to pick somebody else late in the game? And everything just says that, as much as they were trying to protect him, or Jill Biden was trying to protect him, I think they realized that their donations were going down. Their support with Democratic governors and senators and representatives were going down. And the only way they could save this election was to get rid of him. So I think they purposefully removed him. He did make the comment, or there was a statement released initially that he was going to make an on-air comment to the American people yesterday, and it didn't happen. Now they're saying sometime this week. Why are they keeping him hidden? He either isn't competent enough, and they don't want to go down the path of he's incompetent, let him be removed by Harris, to save face, maybe. Or I was asked earlier today if he might be dead.
I was just going to go down that conspiracy theory road and talk to you about, but I don't know, for the last 2 years, I've been hearing that it's an actor wearing a mask. It's not even him. He's been tried for treason, and, he's been executed. It's not even him. It's an actor. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think Joe Biden is Joe Biden. Did he get COVID and die over the weekend? It's possible. It's a possibility. It's certainly not his signature on that letter. And, lots of world leaders are questioning, they're praising him for being such a brave man and everything he's done for freedom and for Ukraine. But the question they all seem to be asking is, why did he do this in a letter and not in person in front of a TV?
Ah, right.
So it's one of two things. Either he died from COVID, the unnamed virus. I did not say that term twice. Or he, he's just in such bad shape that they can't put him in front of the public. The way they have it right now is leave him supposedly running the country for the next 6 months while whoever in the deep state, Jill Biden, Hunter Biden, whoever's been running things, continues to run things, or or he ain't there and they can still do that.
What are your thoughts on Hunter Biden dropping the charges against, what was it, Fox News? Dropping the lawsuit against Fox News.
I don't think he'll drop any lawsuits. He's not the brightest bulb in the box.
I thought I read somewhere that he dropped the lawsuit against Fox News. Well,
I don't know.
It's gonna get very, very, I mean, these last 3 years have been filled with so much, internet news around the world, and just so many things are happening. But now it's going to get even. I mean, what happened with the internet blockout? Planes were grounded, and what was that all about? It's it just seems like every day we are filled. There's so much going on in the world. We're getting so much in one day when you usually get it in a week or 2 weeks or maybe a month. It's
yeah, this has been a crazy weekend. I mean, I've been on air more times in the last 4 or 5 days than ever, and I'm not talking about just my channel. So it's I don't know, things are funny. Some conspiracy theorists would say that the whole network outage was a cyber attack, or that it was planned to distract people from the fact that Biden was out with the virus. And while they were trying to figure out what to do, the fact that he wasn't in the public eye. So who knows? Could be anything. I mean, I still think it was an honestly stupid mistake by CrowdStrike if they actually released an untested software change that brought down such massive systems. I personally think it was just a means to get people to focus on something other than Joe Biden. But that's an opinion. Right. I have no proof. So
let me ask you a question. Are you familiar with the quantum financial system and this new quantum internet? How supposedly the last year or two, they're going to change the way the financial system is being run. They're going to go to the QFS, the quantum financial system, which is going to help with with Wall Street, and it'll prevent theft and corruption. And then they're also going to have the internet. It's going to be run under the quantum. I don't know what it's called. I know you got the quantum financial system and you got the quantum, and supposedly the whole internet, everything's going to be changed where there can't be any wrongdoings. Could that have something to do with this CrowdStrike or whatever?
I'm not familiar enough with that. You know, they can talk about changing the financial system so that you can't do bad things. All it would sound like from what you've explained is a way to control people again. Because who will still control the money? The same guys who do now. You know, it sounds like that could be a way to, you know, get people to quit using crypto. But reality is it's nothing that's going to get widespread use. I mean, none of the BRICS nations will go for that. So will it go outside the United States? You know, even if they pass something like that. And to say that they're going to control the internet in a different way, they have no control over the internet. What I will tell you is the United States has a private internet. The government does.
A private internet?
If, let's assume Russia did what they get accused of doing all the time, or that they've been accused that they might do. They go and they cut all the underwater cables for the internet to cut the United States off from the internet. Even if the entire internet in the United States collapses, the US government has a private internet that they run on private servers. It's run by the Department of Defense.
Oh, I didn't know that.
This is how I know about this. And it's run into NATO countries as well.
I didn't know about that. So let's maybe we can talk a little bit about the assassination attempt. What is it that this water?
Let's deal with a couple of questions on that.
Yeah.
To the next thing.
Yeah.
So
good.
Erica wants to know, could CrowdStrike be bribed or pressured to take responsibility when it wasn't their fault? Well, anything's possible. You know, dingy. That's money, by the way. You know, could they be bribed? Could somebody inside? You know, I doubt that CrowdStrike, the company, would be bribed to do something like that because it was damaging to their reputation. But some lone engineer in a back room somewhere being offered a good chunk of money to bring the system down is a possibility. Not saying that's what happened.
I don't know. Who is CrowdStrike? I don't know what.
They're the largest internet cybersecurity protection company in the world.
Oh,
that's why it affected every country. They protect Microsoft Windows computers, and they are the company that Microsoft uses for their own services for cyber protection.
Wow.
And when this bad update went to Microsoft, it brought down Skype, Microsoft Azure, which is what all of these banks and airlines and things are running on. This is why it affected everybody. All of Microsoft's stuff went out.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's scary.
And Erica wants to know if these types of shenanigans happened in Russian history. Well,
good question.
Nothing quite like this. I would say they've had, under the Soviet Union anyway, their own shenanigans. But, you know, depends on where you fall on how honest the elections are in Russia. So the way I feel about them, I don't think they've happened since Russia is no longer Soviet Union.
Wait, is it called CrowdStrike or CloudStrike?
CrowdStrike.
So M. Lansing is saying they are Israeli. Is that what he's saying? That CrowdStrike is Israeli?
Nope. It's an American company based in Austin, Texas.
It's an American.
They're not Israeli.
So he wrote they are Israeli. I don't know if he's talking about CrowdStrike.
No, he's not talking about CrowdStrike.
Wait, they were involved in the Russia collusion fiasco.
Yes,
They were the ones involved in
they
that?
were, but that doesn't
Really?
tie them to Israel.
Okay, but that ties them to the deep state. No?
It ties into the deep state. Yes.
Wow. They were part of the Russian. Oh, man, come on.
Yes. So they are owned 54% by public companies and individual investors. And the top owners are George Kurtz, who is an Austin, Texas guy, Fisher Asset Management, which is U.S. based, WJ Wealth Management, U.S. based, Roxanne Austin, U.S. So does Israel have some small stake in the company? It's absolutely possible, but they are not an Israeli company.
M. Lansing said they have said they are as much Israeli as they are American. They said it themselves. I'd like to see that.
I would like to see that too, because usually when people make statements like M. Lansing does, they have misread the context of the statement.
Said it has to do with kernel mode startup with a bad file loading all zeros. Wow.
Yeah, it was actually a kernel device driver. It's called the .sys file. And, it was a bad file. What was in it? We don't know. So loading all zeros, that's somebody's guess.
But aren't there procedures on before you upload something into the system, you check it like?
Yeah, I did a stream on this. I talked about this on Random TV. Usually there's either, it's called a canary system and a blue-green system. Blue-green is where they upload all the changes onto a new server. They test everything, and when they feel that it's good, they swap the blue server to the green server, which is the one that's running. And if there's an error, they can immediately swap the bad one out and the previous one back in. So that's the first thing that they would normally do. The other is called the canary system, where when they're confident things are running, that good server, they would only release it to a few smaller customers to test before they put it out to the broader public. So they did not follow these procedures. So there's something funny going on.
Something fishy. And the timing, right? And the timing too. Come on. It always seems like something happens like this. I don't know. Something fishy.
I'm back, guys. What'd I miss?
Howdy. We were talking about CrowdStrike.
Something I know nothing about.
And also I saw something about Hunter Biden is not going to go through with his lawsuit against Fox News. So I don't know.
Yeah, I read that as well.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm sure a pardon's coming very soon as well.
Yeah. Too many things happening at the same time, right? Like, I don't know. Very, very fishy to me.
You guys talk for a minute. I'm looking up the Israeli thing.
About CrowdStrike?
Yep.
I didn't know they were involved in the Russian collusion. So that was definitely.
CrowdStrike?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if y'all have already discussed that about the WikiLeaks. No, wasn't WikiLeaks, was it? The FBI wanted to investigate and wanted to search the DNC servers, but the DNC servers were actually in the hands of CrowdStrike, if I'm correct. And
really,
not only in the hands of CrowdStrike, but not even in the United States of America.
unbelievable.
Those servers were said to be where, Kevin? I know you know the answer.
Sorry, I was looking up this Israeli thing. What was the question?
That the FBI wanted to have a look at the DNC servers, but they were actually in the hands of CrowdStrike. And
and if they were in the hands of CrowdStrike, they were likely being run on Microsoft servers.
true. And when they mean in the hands of CrowdStrike, it could actually mean that they had access to those servers in the cloud and not actually physically
Yes.
in possession of those servers. So let's be clear about that. But the
Wow.
servers physically were I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, but they were actually in Ukraine. Have all
Whoa.
heard that?
Really?
That one I have not heard.
And of course, I have no confirmation of that because I only know that CrowdStrike had access to the servers. The FBI did not, but they did not specify. Only that CrowdStrike said that the servers were not in the States. So
Yeah.
take it from there.
How can it not be in
Well,
the States? Unbelievable.
Microsoft has servers all over the world. They have large data centers. So all this stuff, it's in the States, it's in Canada, it's in Europe. They have some in Russia. So
Wow. So
there is nothing out there about anything about CrowdStrike saying anything about being Israeli. They are a pure American company. However, their largest competitors are Israeli. And this whole situation has opened the door for these Israeli competitors to come in. Now, CrowdStrike did give money to Amazon Web Services to support Israeli startups. So there's something I'm going to guess that whatever statement was read was just misread or read out of context.
Erica Ray is asking Eddie, why do you think a pardon is coming for Hunter Biden?
Why would it not? I mean, it's his son. He has the ability to do it, the power to do it.
Before he leaves office.
Yeah.
Right.
As long as he's convicted. He can only be pardoned of things he was convicted of federal crimes for.
Wow. A lot going on in the world. I mean, what do you think of Pakistan has decided to officially recognize Israeli PM Netanyahu as a terrorist?
It won't happen. The International Criminal Court has, spanked Israel in the last couple of days again. It's been a big news weekend.
Big news weekend.
For their actions in Gaza. However, what's happened? Zero, because they have no teeth. Or it could have been the Court of Justice. I don't know which one of the two.
It is. It's horrific what's going on there.
So, have y'all discussed, on a lighter side, the upcoming comedy show that is known as Harris for President 2024?
Enough said.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting to hear her first speech. I haven't heard it.
Not me. I listen to this woman and I lose brain cells. I can't.
I'm going to have you listen to her one more time. Okay, I'm going to add this here and just play this. Here we go.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong.
So,
Oh man,
explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Okay, because that's exactly what that was.
yeah. Dumbing it down. Yeah,
shows total lack of actual knowledge and foreign affairs experience. Although they're really pushing right now that she's got all kinds of foreign affairs experience.
Yeah, she's got 0.
Yeah. So M. Lansing, CrowdStrike spending $2 billion. They are investing in Israeli startups through Amazon. So Jewish Business News is not the most reputable Jewish news service there is out there. So until you see it in some reputable news sources other than one, it doesn't make it so. How much they have actually invested in Israeli startups through Amazon isn't published. So
we're going from Biden, which is pee pads, right? He needs pee pads, and then we're going to Kamala Harris, who has knee pads, right? Pee pads to knee pads.
yep, on her knees.
You know, I mean, come on. It's like, it's unbelievable. I mean, do any of their supporters like see these things or do research or understand like who they're voting for, like how they truly are, these people?
You know,
I's a Democrat and I's voting Democratic. I's a Republican and I's voting for Trump.
Oh man.
but the average low information voter, and by low information, this is the person that just listens to sound bites that they happen to hear either on the radio, from a podcast, somewhere, just sound bites. Their actual attention span is about 15 seconds. So go figure. This is why sound bites work.
This is why Twitter works.
And this is exactly why Twitter works. And what was it, the 256 character limit? Something like that?
I saw something in the maybe yesterday or today about BRICS getting prepared for the dollar's going to collapse.
I've seen way too many statements from people in BRICS saying that the dollar won't collapse. It may not be as powerful, but you aren't going to see it collapse in the near future.
Well, I mean, they're in such a, what is it now? What's the deficit in America now? 34 billion or something like that? And they just keep printing money, so.
It's in the trillions.
Oh, trillions, 34 trillion, sorry.
Yeah.
Not billion, trillions.
It's way up there.
Yeah, Americans, they wish it was in the billions, not the trillions.
All but which she didn't reach her political heights through meritorious service.
Of course not. She was in a frat house. Do you know what she did in a frat house? And then she was dating Montel Williams and dated the mayor.
She was on her knees.
Come on.
I did not have sex with that woman.
Relations.
Willie Smith might say it was meritorious service. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a good question from Erica Ray. Is it possible to return to the gold standard? Yeah, I mean, I think all the BRIC countries, right? Their currency is backed by a commodity.
Yeah, I mean, Russia has gold.
Yeah.
The problem is does the United States have any gold, or are the rumors that they emptied out Fort Knox true?
I don't know if this is true, but I heard when Trump was in office, he got a lot of gold and money back from certain organizations. I remember seeing a photo of soldiers outside of a 3-letter agency in the States. Supposedly there was gold and money hidden there, and also at in Italy. I'm drawing a blank. Jesus. What's the city that's inside of Italy?
The Vatican.
Thank you. I was told too during his presidency that he got a lot of gold back. He took gold back from and money from the Vatican and from certain. So I don't know.
Yeah. All about which says, well, we know we can't rely on solid leadership to make responsible spending decisions in the current monetary system. So a gold-backed standard seems to be the only stable system. The issues I see with it is if they want to go back to gold-backed monetary system, they're going to have to default on their debt.
Mm-hmm. So, can we make a prediction now, the three of us? Who's going to be the nominee and who's going to be the vice president for the Democratic Party?
You can make a prediction. I will not do so.
Eddie?
And we'll close on that thought because I'm not going to let us go an hour and a half to 2 hours tonight.
Yeah.
Too early to call it. And I'm still not convinced that Kamala is going to take it all the way to November. So I need another 48 hours to think about this.
Well, who do you think could be or who could be nominated? Hillary?
I mean, you could nominate
Michelle,
Mouse, but there are a lot of like I said earlier in the first part. There's some legal questions that need to be answered. There's going to be some challenges to whoever replaces Biden. So it's an uphill battle for the DNC right now. Either way, I think they just wanted to pick someone other than Joe Biden, who had a heartbeat and who can read a prepared statement and not go off script too much. But we know she's going to anyway. But I think that's all they were looking for. They just needed a warm body that wasn't. So
Erica's asking if defaulting on the debt would cause economic collapse. It could. I think what you need in the case of them defaulting on the U.S. debt is a president like Trump, who wants to pull everything back into the States anyway, rebuild manufacturing in the States, because their credit wouldn't be worth squat.
Well, look at Elon Musk leaving California now because of that new law that was put in place. What was it? Trans LGBTQ law or something like that? Something with schools? I forget.
Yeah, I don't recall, but it's no different than the Secret Service hiring short, unqualified women. And I'm not bad-mouthing all women in the Secret Service.
Of course.
But people without experience, fresh out of college or out of Starbucks to, protect important leaders based on a quota policy that they put in place.
What happened to the world? Why is it, a man and a woman, right? Two different species. What is so wrong with saying, okay, women should not be doing this? They should not be doing this job or this or that, and men shouldn't be doing this. Maybe what we can't even you hear people say, oh, I believe women can do anything men can do. No, and men can't do things that women can do. You know what I'm saying? This is just life.
Well,
this is life. How many videos do I have to show you of two police officers, women, that cannot take down a suspect and they need help from civilians? Or about the the New York City male policeman who lost his life like 15 years ago when two of them knocked on the door to give a warrant, and the guys started fighting, and he fell into a mirror and cut an artery, and the woman couldn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on.
I will disagree with you a little bit. I think if a woman is qualified, there's no reason why she can't serve in any police force. Eddie's actually better to answer this one, but I'll prove your point for you. A woman cannot impregnate another woman if she decides to cut off her breasts and sew a thing between her legs. A man cannot give birth.
That's what I'm saying.
If he decides to cut it off and put some fake ones up top.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We all have different roles in this life.
Yeah.
Right? As a man and as a woman.
So Erica is clarifying that in California, the reason Musk left is because teachers are now forbidden to tell parents that their children have questions about their gender.
Unbelievable.
So with that, Eddie, what are your thoughts on the women in police force?
I believe some are extremely capable and can hold their own. And then I've seen some that questionable.
Also with men too.
But at the same time, I've seen that from men as well.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Takes all kinds.
You know, they're driving around in their car all day. They're stopping at Dunkin' Donuts, eating the donuts, the police. They get out and they try to run after the suspect, and they can't. They got a big belly. And you're wearing all that heavy equipment, and they can't even run after the suspect. I've seen it too with men. You know?
Yeah, it happens both ways.
Both ways, right. And in the military as well. I was in the military 4 years. We had men and women soldiers.
So any closing statement or comments, Daniel?
No, just, thank you for everyone who's been watching, and just stay safe, stay safe. And there's a roller coaster coming ahead. We're going to wake up tomorrow and there's going to be some more, news, but really just, try to, just enjoy life. Don't sweat the small stuff, enjoy your family, your friends, pray. And, and thank you for everyone who's watching and who subscribes and all the great comments, because like I said, I always learn something new with our lives. It's awesome. I learn in the comments, I learn from you guys. So it's really great. Yeah. The storm is just beginning. TW wrote the storm. Exactly. Yep. July, August, September, October, man, it's going to be crazy.
So Eddie, any closing comments?
All I've got to say is, wow, what a weekend. And I think it's going to be a very interesting week. Don't be surprised if you see us back on here again between now and this time next week, because, the news cycle's very, very fast. And appreciate everyone's comments. Appreciate everybody sticking with us for this hour and 15 minutes. And we'll see you again soon.
Paris, Obama.
Yep. So thank you, everybody. Dos vidania. Arrivederci. Ciao, baby.
Ciao, ciao.
Hasta la vista. Пока.
Hasta la vista.